Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making a macro-friendly, low-fat vegan mac and cheese. And why wouldn't we be boiling 2 pots of water? It's only 95 degrees outside. Okay, so mac and cheese is something that I grew up eating all of the time. My family loved mac and cheese. We would add extra slices, like the single individually wrapped slices of cheese to it, and also cut up hot dogs, and that was like a good night of eating in my house growing up. I'm vegan now and I don't eat food like that, but I do still love those flavors. I love mac and cheese, and really I love all things vegan cheese if I'm being honest. So I wanted to come up with a mac and cheese recipe that was still really tasty and tasted really decadent, but calorie and macro wise was a lot less decadent. So that's what we're gonna be making today. I am gonna be using Banza pasta. So this is a pasta made from chickpeas. And here's the embarrassing thing. I got 2 different types of pasta. I got cavatappi and elbow macaroni. Ideally, you would just use one type, probably the elbow macaroni. But this is what I got, and we're making 8 servings, so I'm gonna use both boxes. So, okay, I have 2 pots of water here, a large pot and a medium pot boiling. So I salted my water for the pasta, but you don't have to. Other ingredients that we are gonna need: white potato, peeled and cubed, 2 cups, 1 cup cut carrots, a half a cup of silken tofu, half a cup of nutritional yeast, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder, a tablespoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of agar powder. You can skip this one if you don't have it. 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour or cornstarch, and salt, which I haven't brought out yet. All right, it's officially 4,000 degrees and humid in here. So what we are gonna do is we're going to boil the pasta. Shocking, I know, as a first step. So I don't find that you have to oil the water for pasta at all, as long as you stir it a few times as it's cooking. This is gonna be a little interesting because the little guys are gonna cook faster than the big guys, but so let's see what it says for the big guys. 9 to 11 minutes, and this is 8 to 9 minutes. So I'm gonna stir it a few times as it's cooking, and I'm gonna check on it in 9 minutes. And then in the smaller pot, I am gonna add the 2 cups or 250 grams of potatoes and the 1 cup or 125 grams of carrots. And I'm gonna let those boil until they are fork tender, and I'll let you know how much time that is. I could guess, but I'm usually wrong. So about the potatoes, you could leave the skins on. The skins are one of the healthiest parts of a potato, and yes, white potatoes are wonderful for you. Don't know how they got such a bad rap, but if you leave the skins on, it's not gonna make such a pretty yellow cheese sauce. But if you don't care what it looks like, you can go ahead and leave the skins on. Okay, so believe it or not, after 7 minutes, they are both ready to be shut off. So the potatoes, I'm just gonna shut off and hold off on those for a second. And I'm going to drain the pasta and rinse it with cold water right away. The cold water stops it from cooking further, so you don't want it to be mush. Okay, so now what we are gonna do is, in a blender, I have a Vitamix, but any good blender that can handle hot stuff will do. I'm gonna take a slotted spoon, and I'm gonna get all of the potato and carrot mixture out and into the blender. It's hard to get every little piece out, but try. I'm also gonna take a half a cup of this starchy liquid and add it to the blender. It's a little short. There we go, and then I'm gonna dump the rest of this water out. But keep this pan handy because we're gonna need it. So now I'm gonna blend this up. Now, I'm gonna turn the blender back on, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a half a cup of silken tofu, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and once that's all incorporated, I'm going to add my garlic and onion powder, my nutritional yeast, a half a cup, and then also 2 teaspoons of salt. That sounds like a lot, but you might even find out that you want it a little bit saltier after this. But if you want, you can start with 1 teaspoon and add it to your taste. Okay, back to the stove. In our small pot, we are going to turn it on over medium heat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my tablespoon of agar powder. I really think it lends itself to the, why am I so tilted? Fun story about this video. I got everything set up to film it and then realized I don't have my tripod. Giacomo left it at the gym of all places. So you should see this setup the camera is on. It is something. The agar, it's a seaweed powder. It acts as a thickener and it really lends itself to that cheesy texture. So we are gonna do a half a cup of water and the tablespoon of agar powder, and we are going to whisk that together. And then we are going to let that cook in this pan for 3 minutes without touching it. Don't touch it, don't touch it. Once it's whisked together, don't touch it. I'm also putting the pasta back in the large pot. Wow, that's a lot of pasta. Let me show you what the agar does. It turns into this bubbly, almost solid thing. It kind of looks like a SCOBY at the bottom of a kombucha, but just give it a minute. 3 minutes from the time you put it in there to the time you touch it. Also, as a heads up, this stuff in the blender, you can eat it just like this. Like, it's cheesy and delicious here, and it's moderately thick. Yeah, that's really good. And the sauce itself tastes super salty right now, but when it's all mixed in with the pasta, that's gonna level out the sodium. And when I brought it to my mom's house last week, they actually all asked for more salt. And I'm usually the salt queen, so I was surprised. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. I'm gonna pour the cheese sauce over the agar mixture and whisk it together quickly. So right now it's here, and you can see like it's getting to be a thicker, cheesier texture right now. Now that that's all incorporated, we're gonna add our tapioca mixture. So right now I have 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch in here. You could use cornstarch. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of cold water, and I'm gonna whisk it together with a fork to make sure it's incorporated. This is the super thickener here. It's gonna get all stringy and cheesy after I add this. So I hope you can see. It's very, very liquidy. You're like, how could that be a thickener? We're gonna pour it in, and again, whisk it as we're pouring it in. It's hard to see, but there's like resistance while I'm stirring this right now. Do you see that thickening? Oh yeah, that looks about done. So now we're gonna take this and pour it onto that and mix it all together. I might actually need a bigger pot, so I might transfer that over. And I'm gonna turn the heat off on this or it's just gonna keep thickening. I'm gonna use this because this is real thick and this won't break. Guys, you have to see an action shot. It's actually hard because I can't hold the pot while I hold the camera. Oh, mac and cheese ASMR, anybody? Oh yes. All right. All right guys, so here you go. There is the final product. There we go, do you see that? All right, so this recipe makes 8 servings. So the easiest way to weigh this out, or to separate it out, is to get 8 Tupperwares and separate it into either eyeball 8 equal amounts, or you can weigh it out if you want to, but I just eyeball it. Each serving here is 19 grams of protein, 43 grams of carbs, and 4 grams of fat. And it is definitely worthy of bringing to a family cookout. Some peas, some Eve's Canadian bacon in here. Golden. Anyway, I hope you guys like this. If you have any requests for recipes, I love a challenge. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.